For the USA Eagles, the road to the 2015 World Cup begins today. The Eagles have shown promise against some tough opponents this summer, but they've yet to register in the win column. Now the pressure is on as the neighbors from the north descend on Charleston. The Canadians got the best of the U.S. in their last meeting, and the Maple Leafs are looking to punch their ticket to England in 2015. It's the first of 2 Rugby World Cup qualifiers. The United States versus Canada, next on Universal Sports.
And now a moment of silence going to be asked from the audience for really one of the great ones in the world of rugby, especially for the United States. We lost Dave Sitton this week. One of the great ambassadors of the game, and a moment of silence for the University of Arizona coach. A very good man, good friend, Dave Sitton.
We'll have the second half coming up for you here shortly, but first, the rugby community suffered a loss earlier this week. Dave Sitton, a friend to not only rugby internationally, but here in the U.S., passed away. He was influential in helping to grow the sport, not only in America, but drawing attention to the American game internationally. Dave will be missed.
Here's the pass, this is it, here's the race to the corner. The United States will go to the corner. Nick Edwards carries it through. And how about that?
Dave Sitton, the voice of American rugby, had a passion, an energy, and a personality that superseded international boundaries. Born in Southern California, Dave excelled at sports, which led him to the University of Arizona to play baseball. But when a shoulder injury ended his career, he found a new love: rugby. After playing for the school's club team, he became the head coach at the age of just 22 and would continue to coach the Wildcats for the next 35 years. In 2012, Dave led U of A to a second-place finish at the Collegiate Rugby Championships, one of the highlights of a coaching career that saw nearly 400 wins. In what little spare time Dave had from his multiple charities, his political aspirations, and being the play-by-play voice for University of Arizona football and basketball for 22 years, Dave Sitton devoted a good portion of his passion and energy to the game of rugby.
Now, most of you are more familiar with scrum than you think. Scrimmage come to mind?
As an announcer and coach, Dave took every opportunity to promote and educate Americans on the game he loved so much.
Gentlemen, crouch, touch, pause, engage.
Dave Sitton was a proud American who loved a non-American game and gained respect and admiration from all of the corners of the globe. But more importantly, Dave Sitton was a person that tried to make life a little better for those around him, which was reflected in the countless thoughts of Dave on social media this week. A fellow broadcaster wrote, "Whether you knew him as a friend, a coach, an announcer, or from one of the countless other hats he wore, you knew you were encountering a genuine human being whose spirit and kindness will never be forgotten."
It's all of those relationships and touches with people that matter to you that make a 34-year coaching career so much fun and so much, such an important part of a life.
A very tough night for USA Rugby, a very tough week for USA Rugby. The passing of Dave Sitton, University of Arizona rugby coach, one of our broadcasting colleagues, a good friend of ours. I met Dave Sitton, we went to the same high school. I came in as a freshman, Dave was the senior. Dave was the king of the campus. He was big man on campus, and I've known him for many, many years, and anytime you're around Dave Sitton, not only was it positive and upbeat, but it was energized, and one of the great ambassadors to the game. for the United States, and he will be missed dearly.
And I got to tell you, tonight I thought about him a lot, and to his wife and his 2 daughters. You've been in our thoughts all week, but I got to say, you know, how humbling it is to sit in the broadcast booth and talk about rugby when Dave Sitton really was. He was the man behind the microphone for this game, for this country, for so long, and he's such a great mentor and always reaching out to try to help me out as well. And I got a chance to work with him a little bit and talk to him as recently as June, and he was in such great spirits. Had such a tough battle that he came through against cancer, and such a sad loss. But I got to tell you, he will always put a smile on my face when I think about him. And like I said, to be able to somehow try to get into his shoes in this business, it's a humbling experience. Dave, you'll be missed.
Most definite. All right, we're going to step aside here at Blackbaud Stadium in Charleston, South Carolina. The U.S. falling to Canada, 27-9. Back with more on Universal Sports.